Okay, we're live now. Live now. Yaphet Frederick Kotto, whose real name is Frederick Samuel Kotto. This man was an American actor for film and television. He starred in the NBC television series Homicide: Life on the Street as Giardello, Lieutenant Al Giardello. His films include the science fiction horror film called Alien, the science fiction action film The Running Man, the James Bond film Live and Let Die, and which he portrayed the man named a main villain who goes by the name of Dr. Kananga, and the action comedy Midnight Run opposite Robert De Niro. That's right, Robert Anthony De Niro. Let me tell you about Yaphet Frederick Kotto. And he was born Samuel. What's his name? What's his name? Frederick Samuel Kotto in New York. Well, he was born in NYC, New York. So New York City, New York. Yeah, he was born there. His mom, Gladys Marie. Uh, she used to be a nurse and a U.S. Army officer of the Panamanian West Indian descent. His father, who was named after him, is Yaphet. I would get the name. I got all messed up. His father, I don't know, who was according to his son, who was originally named Njoki Njoki Manga Bell. That's what his name. Njoki Manga Bell. His dad, his dad was named as Yaphet Abraham. Yes, Yaphet Abraham Kotto. That leaves out something like who was according to his son, originally named Njoki Manga Bell. Well, his dad's a businessman, from Cameroon, and who have immigrated to the United States in the 1920s. That's way back in the day. Kato's father was raised Jewish, and his mom, his mother Gladys. You know what I mean? His dad Yaphet Senior was raised a Jewish person, and then all of a sudden his mom Gladys, Marie, she ended up converted to Judaism. The couple, kind of separated when Kato was a little boy. He was a child. The main people who he was going to be raised by is his maternal grandparents. and off to the races. To his career, see the early life. I'm going to finish that. We're going to his career. By the age of 16, by the age of 16, Kotto was studying acting at the Actors Mobile Theater Studio. And at the time when he was 19, he made his professional acting debut, Othello. He was a member of the Actors Studio in New York. Kotto was, he got his start. He got his start in acting on, Broadway, where he appeared in The Great White Hope. You see that? That was based on this boxer, among other productions, especially productions among those other productions. So his film debut was like in 1963 when he was like 23 years of age. He was 23 years of age in an uncredited role in there was this film called For for Texas. It was a Dean Martin, Anita Ekberg, and Ursula Andress. You know, Kato, he performed in Michael Romer's Nothing But a Man and played a supporting role in the caper film The Thomas Crown Affair. The Thomas Crown Affair, and it's a 1960s movie, but he played John Austin, a confused a confused Marine Lance Corporal in the 1968 episode King of the Hill on the first season of the legendary Hawaii Five-0 series. In 1967, that's what I was already been out. In the late 60s, 1967, he released a single called "Have You Ever Seen the Blues?" slash "Have You Dug His Scene?" that came from Chizza Records. In 1973, that's off to where he had to continue with his career in the 70s. But in 1973, he landed the role of the of a villain, a James Bond villain named Mr. Big in Live and Let Die. That was in the movie Live and Let Die, as well as the roles he had portrayed in Across 110th Street. I think I already added that movie in my list on Tubi. And there's Truck Turner. I think Isaac Hayes is featured in this movie, working with him. So, R.I.P. to Isaac Hayes. In this film called I think he played this character on Truck Turner, uh, a police officer who goes by the name of Richard Crunch Blackstone. He played that character, but it was in a 1975 film, Report to the Commissioner. It was Report to the Commissioner. It was a film that's been out in 1972. I think it came from like 1975. It was American crime drama film. It's American crime drama film that was based on a 1972 novel that James Mills had wrote. It involves a rookie cop that was already in the NYPD who is assigning who has been assigned a special missing person case, in which in fact is meant to be a wild goose chase. Now, mind you, he did what he did on the movies, but Kato he played this Idi Amin character in the late 1970s film, a late 1970s film called it was a TV it was a TV film. It was an old TV film in the late 1970s. It was called Raid on Entebbe. Raid on Entebbe. He had starred as an auto worker in this 1978 film Blue Collar. The following year, he played Parker in a sci-fi horror film Alien, a horror film which that he had to follow with a supporting role in the 1980 prison drama Brubaker. It's called Brubaker, which was in 1983. He had guest starred as a mobster who goes by the name of uh, Charlie Struthers. They call him East Side Charlie in a legendary episode of the A Team. It's called The Out of Towners. The Out of Towners in the late 80s. He appeared in a futuristic sci-fi movie, The Running Man, and in 1988 in the action comedy Midnight Run. This Midnight Run right here. That's Midnight Run opposite Robert Anthony De Niro and Charles Grodin and John Ashton, in which Kato portrayed Alonzo Mosley, an FBI agent. A memo from Paramount Pictures indicates that Kato was among those being considered for Jean-Luc Picard. That's the name of the name. That name looks familiar back in the day. Jean-Luc Picard was in Star Trek: The Next Generation, a role which eventually went to Patrick Stewart, who played as the character. Kato, he was cast as a religious man living in the southwestern desert country in the 1967 film. Not a film, it's an episode. It's called A Man Called Abraham. 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 On a syndicated anthology series called The Death Valley Days, hosted by Robert Taylor, who was an American film and TV actor and singer. But in the storyline that takes you to it, Abraham convinces a killer named Cassidy. Rayford Barnes played the character. If I remember him, the guy was an American film and TV character actor that was coming from Whitesboro, Texas. Guys, Rayford Barnes is a Texan. He's from Texas. You know, Lone Star State. You know, he was from there. That Cassidy can change his heart despite past crimes. When Cassidy is sent to the gallows, Abraham provides spiritual solace. Bing Russell, an actor who goes by the name of Neil Albert Russell, they call him Bing, who happened to be an American actor and a Class A minor league baseball club owner, who have also appeared in this segment. In this segment, when Kato retired from film acting and into the mid 1990s, though he had one final film to do. It was Witless Protection. Witless Protection. So he was working with Larry the Cable Guy and Jenny McCarthy. You know, Jenny McCarthy is an actress. Everybody loves Jenny. Everybody loves Jenny. On everybody and their mama loves Jenny, man. Look at Jenny. Jenny, she look hot. She look hot wearing the pumps and the dress and everything. She look cute. She looks sexy and cute in this movie. But well, it was written and directed by some guy. I think it was Charles Corner. I think it was like I think it was one person who directed this film, this American crime comedy film, is Charles Robert Corner. How however however I had to like explain this to y'all about the story. You have his early life, then his career. I'm gonna read it to y'all. However that Kato had done, he continued to take on the TV roles. TV roles. Kato played as Lieutenant Al Giardello in the longest running TV series that was been in history. It's called it's called Homicide. It's called Homicide. Life on the Street. That's what his name is. Homicide. Life on the Street. As a black Sicilian proud of his Italian ancestry, the character was a breakout for television. He has written a book. The book that he has decided to write uh is called Royalty. It's called Royalty, and he also wrote scripts. He also wrote scripts for the Homicide series. Well, for Homicide, he wrote scripts for Homicide, not Homicide Life on the Street. Homicide, he wrote scripts for. But 2014, by 2014, he voiced as a Parker in this video game. That was for the video game that was called Alien Isolation. This Alien Isolation is a video game that came out. That came out like years ago. That was for PlayStation 3 and everything else. It's just a video game, but reprising the role. I'm not gonna lie to you about it. The man was reprising the role. He reprising the role which that he played in a movie called Alien in the 1970s. So we're going to his personal life. His personal life, I'm gonna explain to y'all. See, Kato, man, his first marriage was to Rita Ingrid Dittman, whom he had married in the 1950s. They had three children together before divorcing in the 1970s. Later, Kato married Tony Pettyjohn, a woman that he later married, Tony Pettyjohn. They also had three children, same as he did with Rita Dittman, with Rita Ingrid Dittman, who was a German immigrant. But this was before divorcing in 1989. Same thing they did in same thing he did with Rita in the 1970s. Well, let me explain this to y'all. But later, Kato married this woman. Okay, this Tony Pettyjohn. What's this woman's name? This Tony Pettyjohn woman, and they also had three children. Same thing Kato did with Rita Dittman. And this was before they started divorcing and calling it quits in the 1980s. Kato married his third wife, who goes by the name of Tessie Sinahan, who was from the Philippines in the 1990s. In the 1990s, Kato was versed in the Hebrew liturgy and incorporated Jewish prayers at the turning points throughout his life. He said that his father instilled Judaism in him. That's his personal life included. Kato supported uh, ex ex U.S. President Donald John Trump in the 2016 and 2020 presidential elections, but Trump stepped down as president after he got defeated by Joseph Robinette Biden, who used to be um, a senator. But Kato, he also expressed his support. He's been expressing his support for this here movement here. I ain't gonna be explaining to y'all. It's called the Black Lives Matter, BLM, a decentralized political and social movement that seeks to highlight racism, discrimination, and racial inequality experienced by Black people and promote anti-racism. Its primary concerns are like the incidents of everyday police brutality. That happened like this in the 80s in Los Angeles, California. It's Los Angeles, California. That was like within a week of police brutality. That's happening back in the 1980s. Uh, Alonzo Williams, Alonzo Williams, who was owner of Eve After Dark nightclub in California. He explained this uh, on camera on the Death Row Chronicles on BET. He talked about the police brutality that happened every day. So it happened within a week. Yes, there is just primary concerns that are incidents that lead of police brutality and racially motivated violence against Black people. That's what the Black Lives Matter means. That's what the Black Lives Matter means. Something else. It means something. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Kato also expressing his support for the Black Lives Matter movement and QAnon. QAnon. But in 2000, he was living in in rural Canada, Mormora, Ontario, Canada, until this was before COVID-19 hit this entire country. Kato died at the age of 81 on March 15th, 2021, near Manila, Philippines. Manila, Philippines. I think it was word. We pronounce this name. Manila, Philippines. His wife, who's now his widow, his wife that he had married, announcing the news on Facebook. She announced this on Facebook. On Facebook, she announced it, the news regarding Kato's untimely death. See, it's just all the films that he just did. So Harbor Blue, he played the character. I think Richard Blackstone. Yeah, I think it was report to the commissioner. Why did he mention about Harbor Blue in Truck Turner, the Truck Turner movie? Why he mention Harbor Blue in the story? See, his filmography is from 1963 all the way to like what is it, 2008. His TV debut was from 1966 all the way to, let me see, 2001. And and he is in a video game. He is in one video game, and there's a guest appearance as a technician. So everything went on about Yaphet Kotto. His legacy will still live on, though. It will still live on as one of the actors and television stars in the history of the generation that I'm living in now. Okay, there are a photo of Kato that was from the 90s when he was ready to get into the film stuff. But I remember I remember him working with the likes of Pam Grier. I think he did work with Pam Grier. Let me go find this film. Oh yeah, the character he played as Colt Hawkins. He played as Colt Hawkins, the investigator. The investigator. See, the movie Friday Foster. The thing is, everybody wants to be in this film. So I watched this movie. All the cast members are there. Scatman Crothers was in this movie. So It was just a film. Yeah, I'm working on Dalmas Wazalala in a minute. Right after I'm finished with this live show, I'm gonna go on with it. I'm gonna go on with it. I'm gonna do a show. I'm gonna do his live show second. Yeah, the Love Boat. Ted Lange. There's an old photo of him in the '70s when he was in the Love Boat. But that's legends. Okay, I got Damas Razalala. I got Damas Razalala live show coming up next. So stay tuned. So stay tuned to that. Um, but rest in peace to Frederick Samuel Kotto. November 15th, 1939, March 15th, 2021.